What's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? It's your boy MM2K of PNTS Network and StadiaDosage platform. Here with our co-host of Weekly Checkup. His name is Daryl Smock Jr. Daryl Smock, how you doing today, good brother?
I'm doing good, man. I'm ready. You know, we just had a really good conversation.
Yes.
So if you guys want to hear that, man, make sure that you guys become a member at any level, I think, right? At any
Absolutely.
level, you could get access to our bonus content. So yeah, man, I'm feeling good. Today's gonna be a good day, and I'm ready. I'm excited to talk.
Yeah, we talked about Daryl Smock's discovery. Was a big one. Got to create a lot of buzz yesterday with Black Myth Wukong. Hell of a looking game. Got everybody excited on multiple levels. Daryl Smock discovered something. We talked about on SSC podcast yesterday. He discovered that the Q&A section where they're talking about the cloud that they want to bring into under certain stipulations. So definitely check that out, man. We also was talking about some other things as well. But, you know, as a member, you get bonus content. So check it out. Also, what I want to let people know is you probably noticed a name change. We haven't changed the aesthetics yet we're still barring Stadia Live Session Studio, but we're going to be working on that by next week. But we kind of made a name change, and we're going to be doing a scheduling change. First and foremost, the name change has gone from Saturday Checkup to Weekly Checkup. The reason why we're doing that is we don't want to bound the show to Saturdays. And then with that being said, we're gonna experiment a little bit. We're gonna move the show to Sundays, but hold on, give me 1 second. Smock, can you let the people know what you've been playing since last week? Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, man. Last week I have been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed. I'm still working my way through the story. Assassin's Creed is actually pretty fun. It's pretty good. I'm really enjoying the story. And they sent me an email about the progress that I've made in the game so far. And after I finished a major mission, which is rescuing the main character's brother, Sigurd, they sent me an email, and then they showed me the stats of everything that I've done. And they gave me a teaser of what's to come next and everything like that. So they did a really good job with this game. And I've also been playing The Crew 2 because The Crew 2 came out with an update for stories, and basically what you're going to be doing is each week they're going to release one new story, and you follow basically a series of events that happens around certain cars and certain events around American car culture, because this is their American update. So they're going to be releasing a bunch of American-based cars, new cars, and things like that. So yeah, and then I'm also another reason why I'm hopping back into The Crew is because in June they're going to be releasing their 5th year update. So this update is going to include basically 60 frames per second. It's going to be released 60 frames per second. It's going to have enhanced colors, and it's going to basically overall look and play a whole lot better. And I'm dying to know if I pray to God this update comes to Stadia, because we need it. And it's supposed to be like a next gen update. So hopefully this update includes Stadia, since Stadia is technically next gen, you know? So I haven't got a response, but I just hope it does. I don't want to be stuck at 30 frames per second. The game would be so much more popular if it was 60 frames, in my opinion. And I plan on hopping back into Destiny. I haven't played Destiny in a couple weeks because I don't like where the state of PvP is right now. And it's not even really the game itself, it's the community around the game that's making the game bad. The experience bad, in my opinion, for PvP. If you're a person that likes PvP, I don't know if you agree with what I'm feeling, if you're really into Destiny, but if not, it's okay. But on the PvP side, things aren't looking so hot, in my opinion. PvE, things are great. PvP, not so much. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope they put 007 in Perfect Dark. So, chat, how's you guys doing? How is everybody doing here in chat? I can't 7C. With 007. Yo, what's up? The new Halo movie is lit. I love Desert Storm. I'm going live shortly. Am I early? Yeah, man. So what's up, you guys?
Okay. Sorry about that, Smock. I just had to step away real quick, take care of a quick phone call. Sorry about that. Okay, all right. So you went over what you were playing, what you've been playing all week. What I've been playing is some Division 2. I got on the PTS, and man, is that thing balanced? That thing is sweet. Division 2 is really going to be my go-to game, like Destiny normally is yours. Yeah,
I played Division 2.
Oh, have you played it recently?
Yeah, I've played it by myself a little bit. A couple days ago. And okay. I don't know how to. I guess that public test server is only for PC. I'm sad about that. But I am there. So if you want to run on that game, just hit me up, man.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Are you part of the Old Dirty Blaster, Smock?
The clan, I'm not. I know you. I know we talked about it a while ago.
Yeah, you got to join the clan, man. Because Tommy Rocks, good brother Tommy Rocks, and a Twisted Barber. They're setting up some great games, man. We got some great events coming, so you definitely want to join the clan because what happens is when you join the clan, it's like when you join the Destiny clan. There's perks, we got a store, and there's weapons and stuff that you can only get from the clan store. So when you join the clan, there's a bunch of boosts and stuff that you'll get. So definitely hit it up, man. So
I played the summit. And I was working my way through the floors, and I was trying to, I was getting some of the weapons. So yeah, it's pretty fun. I've always liked the division. I just I don't see a lot of people playing it.
Yeah,
I know. I think people are starting to come back now, though.
Yes,
because of
absolutely.
The update.
Absolutely,
created some buzz. And I just want to shout out to the devs, man. The devs are so good. Like, I remember I've played the Division 2. It was probably last year, either the beginning of last year or something around that time. But they have a podcast, and the devs go live and they answer questions and concerns, and they talk about the actual people. They have people in the game actually goes on a podcast. I think they used to do it on a weekly basis to talk about the bugs and say a time frame of when everything is going to be fixed. They address all the issues from bro, these are some of the best devs I've ever seen, bro. From a dev standpoint alone, incredible.
It's called State of the Game, and they used to go out every week or every 2 weeks to do it. And they haven't done it so much because for a good year, I guess they were doubling down on Heartlands. So because they were doubling down on Heartlands, there really wasn't any big updates. But now there's big updates coming, and hopefully State of the Game will come back. But this is, man, I'm telling you,
play Heartland.
Woo, Jesus, yeah, I can't. I wish I could talk more, but I can't say nothing about. This is what I'll say. Shout out to Twisted Barber again of the Old Dirty Blasters. He said this in the chat. He said, imagine Division meets I don't know if you played this game before. Meets I forget the name. I lost the name of the game. Escape from Tarkov, which is
the survival game. I know.
The survival. Yep. That's a dope assessment. I think people will love the game once they get a hold of it. So, and also what I did is right before we went live too, I was part of an AMA with Sky Climbers. I was talking to them, Smock, about, asked them a couple of questions, got some interesting information. We'll get into that. But then also, too, I got into the test region for Death Carnival.
Nice.
And I can't talk too much about it, but man, oh man.
That game is interesting.
That's going to be one of my favorite games, definitely. Yeah.
I think I've seen people play it on YouTube. Like some creators had access to it, and there was a lot to show. You know, some game sessions, and the game looks interesting.
Yep. Yeah. I was told I was allowed to tell my feelings, but yeah, that's going to be a great addition to the Stadia lineup. Definitely.
And you know what? I Stadia does need more horror content because I like horror games. What's up with Martha, man? What's up with Martha? When is Martha coming to Stadia, bro?
Wired P, man. They said it's coming, man. They said that they're going to drop it. Yeah, that'd be dope, man.
It's like a psychological horror game, and it's around that time. Because when I think so correct me if I'm wrong, but does Martha take place a little after the Holocaust? Like how far is? I don't know, because I'm getting that type of vibes from the game.
Oh, okay.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of behind on all of the deep details of the game. I just know that it's creepy as hell, by all accounts. I've seen some people play certain sections of it. So yeah, that definitely will be another great addition to the Stadia platform. Yeah. Let me see what else we got here. I think that's it. Yeah. And did I talk about it too? I don't know if I mentioned this. Here, let me show you something. Again, this is PNTS Network. This is where we talk about video games, and we have a big affinity for Stadia. And Jack DeSlip, who heads up the Stadia reporting efforts. He's our senior editor for all things Stadia. We're going through a big campaign to get more writers for Stadia. So if you like to write about Stadia news, particularly about Stadia news, and you want to do it for us over at PNTS Network, reach out to Jack DeSlip or myself. Let us know that you're interested. And there's some monetary gain. We're paying for articles. You know what I mean? So you can talk to Jack. Jack will give you more information on that, or you can reach out to me and I'll let Jack know to get back to you. Whoever you can reach, preferably, reach out to Jack and let us know that you're interested. Dude, we are paying per article. All right. And I'll just say this, it's a little bit more than what IGN is offering. IGN is trying to give you, again, like I said yesterday, a pack of Newports and some Twizzlers. We will give you a little bit more for your articles. So, all right.
You know what?
Oh, good, bro.
I might actually put my hands into that.
Dude,
I
man.
like typing and writing.
Hey,
so,
yeah.
Let's see.
Yep.
Have you seen? So this is going off the way off topic. Have you seen on Netflix this show called Inventing Anna?
I've seen part of it. My wife was watching some of it, so I've seen part of it.
I'm gonna be like that reporter on Inventing Anna with with our stuff.
Oh, that's what's up. All righty. So let's get into today's show. It's my fault. We're late. And what the hell is going on with my graphics? Okay, I'm late. It's all my fault. And but we got a little bit of time left. All right, and I want to shout out the chat real quick too. We got who we got here? Social. Come on, graphics. You can work. Dusty Rancid started an autoplay through on Bloodstained. Psalmist Pro says, I ain't playing no Martha, I'm a punk. And Dusty says, Diablo meets Smash TV. And Smock says, he was trying to say it's psychological. Yeah. I got you. All right, so so number one on the docket is Stadia Q1. All right, let me see if I can put some graphics up here from our good friend in Lad. Let me do this. All right, so Stadia Q1, There's been some assessments being made. Let's go here. Let me show you something. Shout out to the homie in Lad. He puts this tweet out here that says, hey folks, thanks for the constructive feedback. I really appreciate it. The most frequently asked questions at the moment is about the quality of Stadia games over time. That's why I can currently tinkering with the Metascore trending infographic, which will be published soon. Let me do this too so people can see it fully, and then I'll put it back in a little bit. I'll get rid of that those graphics. And here goes the graphic from Inled. It says the road to 100 Stadia games. So what you see here, if you crunch the numbers per this data, is that it shows a significant decrease in the quality of games and number of games so far in 2022. To be more specific, we have 50% less games than we do this time last year. This year, around this time, by the end of first quarter, we had 16 games. Last year, we had 31. This also is the weakest Metacritic average for games in a quarter since launch. I think the average Metacritic is like 63, something like that, to where as Stadia is normally in the 70s, sometimes in the 80s per quarter. They still promise to reach 100 games by year's end. So my question to you, Smock, is what do you think is behind the lower number of titles so far this year?
The focus right now is to start getting the new programs running that they spoke about in the developer summit.
Yeah,
I think they're more focused on getting that, and then we'll probably start seeing a ramp up in games maybe around, I would say, July, August.
Yeah,
that's my expectations.
Yeah.
But right now, I think that right now they're getting ready to start turning the gears. Like right now, we're still in the first quarter of the year. Yep. It's coming to a close though, but I think right now they're just focused on getting everything started so they could get this year rolling. So this right now, I'm not too worried about us being behind 9 games because we see that Stadia can release a lot of games in 1 month. You know, so if they're going to continue moving at this pace, then they're going to have to start releasing a lot of games towards the middle to quarter 3 to quarter 4 of the year.
Well, actually, the first quarter ended March, at the end of March. So now we're in April, so we're in the second quarter. And yeah, I mean, I think what's happened, to your point, I think you hit it right on the nail. Stadia would load up at the beginning of the year, and then at the latter part of the year when games are coming out elsewhere, they were kind of slow. Like that's how it was last year. You know, they were kind of a little bit slower than they were in 2020, and they really got lambasted for that. But again, if you look at how many, like the first quarter alone, they released 31 games. That's amazing. Yeah, to where if you look at 2020, the same time, they released 10, I think. So they tripled the productivity, and they still got lambasted last year because the end of the year wasn't as stacked as people wanted it to be.
I think slowed down a lot of things.
Exactly. Yep. So I think what they're doing is they're spreading it out a little bit more. Could they have, instead of being 9 games down, be 5 games down? Should they have went for 20 games? I don't know. It depends. We don't know what the total lineup is. They haven't released that to us yet, so we'll have to see. But I agree with you. I think that they still are on track for 100 plus games. So what that tells me is if they were on track for 100 plus games, and you know they had 30 last year at this time, that we're just going to get more games throughout the year, which is probably better in the long term. You know what I'm saying? So but let me ask, why do you think the low? Okay, we got an explanation for the lower games, but why do you think the lower Metascore? What do you think is behind that?
The quality of the games, right?
Yeah.
Metacritic. How reliable are the Metacritic scores?
True. Yeah. I mean, no.
That's my first question when I think about things like that. Yeah. But it's like, they haven't really secured any this year. They haven't really secured any. They haven't secured a big game yet. This year.
Yeah.
So
True.
we like the biggest game I think we've had was from Ubisoft this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Yep.
It was Rainbow Six Extraction. I think that was a pretty big game.
Yeah, Dynasty Warriors too, but that Dynasty Warriors never. I mean, that game does commercially well. It never gets a high Metacritic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So they haven't really secured they've been getting mostly indie games right this so far. So that's the reason. A lot of indie games don't really get high Metacritic scores either. It's just how it is.
I don't think the games are necessarily bad. I just think there's less games, but I don't think they're necessarily bad. I just think that, like you said, they're not as popular as they were last year. So it is what it is, and it's not always. I mean, well, granted, this year you had games like Horizon, Elder Ring, and some other games all launch in like the same month. I think there was a bunch of games that launched in the month of February.
One game that they could have gotten Elder Ring.
Yeah.
Horizon is a PlayStation exclusive.
It's a PlayStation exclusive.
They can't get that.
Can't get that. What else? There was a couple other games I think that came out, but
that game is coming. That game is going to be a good game.
Exactly.
As long as we get the port, I can't wait till we get past this. Talking about the quality of ports, but as long as Stadia secures a good port of Martha is Dead, we'll have a good game.
I think the World War. Well, it was revealed last night that someone within the Stadia community that is very polite, very kind, and is known for doing great interviews that are very welcoming to developers, approached the Saber Interactive, the developers of World War Z, and asked for an interview, and they said they immediately responded back and said no. You know what I mean? It was like, nope, we don't like it. So that I think that just shows you that.
Has they released any statement? Has it what were we talking about in the DMs about that game? Was it about
that it's missing 4K, and then it's missing crossplay, and that has people upset. And I understand, because it was promised. They said it like it's coming.
As far as 4K, it's not. The game can't upscale to 4K at all.
They don't. Yeah, it's weird. It's one of those. I've never seen a triple. Excuse me. Look, it got me choked up. I've never seen a AAA game on Stadia that the base resolution and the total resolution is 1080p. We've seen Destiny where the base resolution is 1080p, but they upscale it to 4K, right? So it's glossier, it's shiny, it's sharper. Yeah. Not here. Like when you play this game, this is straight 1080p, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like there's no 4K upscale at all, which is amazing. You know what I'm saying?
So I want to talk about something real quick, and then about World War Z, and then you go back to the main topic. But I cannot believe a good friend Pete compared World War Z to Destiny 2.
Oh yeah. He was talking about the 1080. He was talking about the 1080p portion.
I know. But it's like, man, those games are so different in every way possible.
And the thing about it is, at least Destiny is upscale. It makes it even worse in the argument of World War Z, because World War Z is nowhere as big as Destiny. Nowhere. Not even when Destiny 2 launched on Stadia. And they were able to get upscaled 1080p to 4K.
Destiny came out the jump.
Yeah.
Performing perfect.
And
almost perfect.
And Smock, check this out. And they didn't use low charge porting. So they had to do it from scratch. These mugs used the low charge porting, and it's still only 1080p. Unacceptable. Unacceptable, bro.
It is funny, but yeah.
Unacceptable.
Yeah.
So there was something I was reading on Reddit where I guess somebody was watching our show from yesterday, and they were talking about our conversation, and they said something to the effect of because we were comparing Project Z to World War Z, and we're like, the Project Z people are a lot more.
Yeah, I seen that. They're talking about it this morning.
Yeah, we like they were a lot more. They're a lot more accommodating than the World War Z people. I'm not mad at anybody that wants to go after the World War Z people. I just think that people need to understand that Stadia is like kind of between a rock and a hard place. There are some things I think they could do better, but they're in between a rock and a hard place. This would have never happened to Xbox. This would have never happened to PlayStation because those platforms are bigger. Yeah. This right here, we just illustrated why this makes no sense. The people at Bungie had to sit down and build the experience from scratch. These mugs at Saber use the low charge porting.
Everything is it's the easiest way to port in a long time.
Yes. Way. We can say that.
I felt like I was able to port just after watching the video. After watching that 20 minutes, I was like,
you know to port some things over, right? Just to test it out. Yeah. I mean, they used the low charge port. Now, one was okay. So World War Z was announced in October.
Yeah.
So October, November, December, January, February, March. So in 5 months, you're trying to tell me that in 5 months with low charge porting, you couldn't give us something as good as something that was built for scratch in 6 months? Shame on Saber Interactive. And then their response was when people were like, "What happened to the crossplay?" Oh, well, it's not included. We'll let you know if it'll be added in the future. But this was a major marketing ploy that you had, that it was being added. So, I mean, I don't know. Here's the thing, Smock. What probably happened was Stadia's probably seen the state that they were going to release the game in. They didn't want to say, well, don't bring the game. So they just said, well, you know what? We'll just launch it into Stadia Pro. Right. Maybe that was it, or maybe they were planning to do it all along. I hope they weren't planning to do it all along, because I'm pretty sure that these mugs got some money up front too to bring the game. I know that Stadia has that new business model, but you know, I as flippant as these guys seem, I can't see them not doing this without some cash up front. And they got the money up front, and you know, the game is just good. They're lucky the game is that damn good, but they gave a piss poor effort in the porting process, which is sad. So, wow.
Yeah. I do want to play it though. I do want to get my hands on it. I want to play it.
Yeah, you should play it. It's still good. Don't get me wrong. It's still good. Yeah. We're talking all this shit. It's still good. It's still good. But it's just a shame how they're treating the Stadia community.
So my advice to Stadia is, if you are going to have somebody port over a game for you, you have to be more strict. They need to make it easier to port, but still be just as strict as you was. You know, just be more strict and be like, let the devs know if you want to put your game over, it has to be at a certain standard.
Exactly.
It has to be as a certain standard, because we need to be good as the competition. Like, the one thing that I think Stadia is doing right now is they're being too friendly with devs, and they're being too friendly with how games are ported over. They need to verbally set and get the devs to sign this contract in writing, saying that this game will come whenever it's ready, even if it takes a little longer. That's fine. Let the game come as like let the game come complete. You know, let the games come. You know, with all the modes, like the performance and the quality modes. You know, if you
Yep.
can't get a game to run out for smooth at 4K 60, then give us a performance mode at least or
Yeah.
something. You know, but Stadia has to be more confident with these devs. You know, yes, Stadia isn't as big as the consoles, but guess what? Right now, they're the best cloud platform. Right now, they're the best cloud platform. And if they want to stay the best cloud platform, they have to be more strict with these devs. So stuff like this doesn't keep happening in the future. Stadia doesn't want this to be another thing that people are hanging over their heads, you know, saying, man, Stadia is good, but we keep getting games, you know, that aren't performing like they should. We keep getting these games. We keep getting games like Outriders. We getting games like World War Z. We getting games like Final Fantasy. We're getting games like, you know, all these games that's good. But then when you play them, they're not performing like they should, you know?
So let me ask you this. So if you have a scenario where, because I'm pretty sure this is how these guys were. You have a scenario where they were given money up front, likely, and they come to Stadia and they're like, you know what? We got this thing running at 1080p, and we just don't have the resources to get it up at 4K. So, like,
I would have declined it.
You would have declined it.
Would have declined it because I guess it's just me being more aggressive. Me having this mindset of I want things to happen a certain way. If I'm Stadia and a developer is telling me that they're going to port over a game for my platform that I'm trying to build and, you know, get people to come over to, and I get a dev that tells me, I give the money upfront, you know, even if it's not as much as they would like to see, and I let them know, when you bring your game over, we're gonna get this up front, and then over time with our partnership program on Pro, you know, once it's there, you're gonna get 70, I think it's 70 or 90% of the total. Yeah, 70-30. You're gonna get 70% of everything that you make over time. And our devs on our platform are already saying that they are making more of a return. And if they are putting over a game that only runs at 1080p, bro, I'm taking it off of the store and I'm getting my money back.
What do you do? What do you do if? Well, they offered them the money up front, so they wouldn't be able to get the money back. What do you do then? How do you communicate that to your base? You just tell them, better yet, I think the better question is, if you reject World War Z, how do you think the community is going to react that the game's not coming at all?
I would put out a statement about what happened, and it may look bad, you know, it may make them look bad, but the thing that Stadia has to understand overall is, we know they've had to hear the cries from the past games. They've had to hear the community outrage. They've had to have seen at least some of the documents that has been written about Stadia, you know, over time. And if Stadia wants to clean that rep, have to put the foot down with devs and let them know that, listen, look, if we want quality games on our platform, and I think Stadia has to go in that direction. So maybe I wouldn't reject the game totally. I would reject the launch of the game and say, listen, due to the game not performing up to our standards, we are asking the devs to take more time for launching this game. So the game can run at the quality that you all deserve. Boom. Statement. Things done. The community will understand because delays happen all the time and they can get back to work. in working, and or is it because, or is it possibly because low price porting isn't at the point to where it needs to be right now, and that's probably why it's only at 1080p.
Well, no, I look again, and it's not as demanding as like low charge porting. What it does is it's not supposed to be it doesn't necessarily have to be a complete process. What low charge porting does is it brings the game over to a playable state with less effort. Depending upon the game, there might have to be more tweaking that has to be done.
Yeah.
But it's not just that you click a button and it's done and there's nothing else that can be done. So, like for instance, if you look at MotoGP, even though MotoGP isn't as demanding,
it's low charge porting.
Yeah, MotoGP is 21. Yeah, I've played it. You can play the demo. You can do the 2-hour demo. It's not amazing, but it looks better than MotoGP 20. That doesn't have low charge porting.
Then it looks amazing then.
And then it plays better. It's smoother.
Crazy.
It's smoother.
Yeah.
So.
And then this is totally on the devs then.
Yeah. The devs didn't. Yeah, they didn't. What these devs said is they just said, okay, well, we'll hit this button and it's at a playable state. Okay, we're done. I just
another thing. Sorry, one last thing that Stadia has to consider for right now, because it is a thing, is that you cannot launch a game into Stadia Pro that's not 4K.
Yeah,
because we're paying for it.
Yeah,
we're paying for it.
Yeah, they have to revisit that model. Definitely. I just think that even with Arc, like, I think what Stadia's viewpoint is, and I get it, is that if this game doesn't release at all, then because what the developers are going to say is fine. Screw you. Like, who are you? You're not keeping our lights on. And then they're just going to walk away with a bag. And I think
they can do that, but at least Stadia keeps their dignity at the end of the day. So if the devs are that lazy where they can't bring a game in 4K, then we don't need that dev on working with Stadia.
I think the way Stadia is looking at it is we don't want to be giving away money. We don't want to set that precedent. And two, the fan base will then start. It'll be worse. I mean, they're looking at it as there's no good way out of this, but it'll be less painful if we release the game and the game at least comes. Because if the game never comes, then everybody's gonna say Stadia's dead. They can't get any games anymore. They're done. I think that's the way they're looking. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying I think that's the way they're looking at it.
I hope not, man. Because Stadia has to understand that they're in the best position as far as cloud gaming. They're small. We're small. Well, a small community, but we're the fastest growing community at the same time.
Yeah.
Like if a game comes that people want to play, people are going to play Stadia, whether they tweet about it or they're just playing the game and not telling anybody. People are going to come and play the game because people know that game is run smoothly on Stadia. Stadia has a part to run games smoothly. Like nobody isn't just going to forget how good Cyberpunk ran. Nobody's going to forget how Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil Village ran. Like that game ran perfect too. Destiny runs perfect. Like nobody complains about those games. Nobody complains about a good running game. So for a dev to release a game that's not up to par, it's like they just don't need to do, like, Stadia could just cut the loss. Like, it's just me and my mentality. That's how I look at it, because I'm ruthless like that. If things do not go the way that they are expected to go, cut them off. We don't need them. If they aren't willing to work with us to make the game better, if they aren't, then just cut on. We don't need to be doing business. And then if people get mad at it, we could release a statement saying this is what happened with these devs. Don't put the blame on us. Blame the dev. Blame the people. Blame them for being lazy, for not doing their job. How are you going to develop a game in 2022 at 1080p? Into pro where our players are playing to play 4K? That's lazy. It's not acceptable. And Stadia shouldn't accept things like that. Whether they cut a loss, whether people can say Stadia's dead all they want, but I promise you, if Stadia releases a statement saying we've had a bad experience working with this dev because this, and this, everybody's gonna shut up after that. Because what are you gonna do? Say they're lying?
Well,
they're not. It's like.
I think another thing that they're thinking about too is once you open that Pandora's box where you say, the dev didn't do XYZ, which it is the truth, then you set the precedent to where that dev will never work with you again. And I think they're trying to balance and juggle all that. That's why you'll run into situations even where it's clearly, like even on Xbox or PlayStation, where it's clearly a bad port even on there, and they'll just say, you know what, you guys, like even through the whole Cyberpunk thing, when Cyberpunk was a mess, like what PlayStation did is they did take the game off the store because it was that bad, but they never really went against CD Projekt Red because they could say something that could be a detriment to their stock price, and then their investors say don't put anything else on that platform. So they just took it off the store. Microsoft said we are concerned with the level of quality, I remember
that.
Yeah, we're concerned with the level of quality, and we're hoping for better. You know what I mean? I mean, you could kind of walk that tightrope, or where you could say, hey, look, we love working with Saber Interactive. We know they can create a great port, and we're going to do everything that we can to support them and in providing that port. So at this time, we're not, the release of what's it called will be delayed. I think that's a good thing that they could do without throwing too much shade at the developer, but at the same time giving you some information on why it's not the way that it is. The thing that kills me sometimes that Stadia does is that you'll have this half-ass output it's half-ass output from the developers, and it seems like they go to celebrate it. Like it started with Outriders, and they went and did interviews with Square Enix, and they were promoting the fact that Outriders was on Stadia and the game was half-ass. And now with World War Z, even though the game is still fun, it does not signify what Stadia is capable of. This port could have came out better, and it's half-ass, and they're out and there's a demo for this. You know what I'm saying? Like you're showcasing, which people they're paying attention to those bells and whistles because they're likely already playing somewhere else. You know what I mean? So no, I totally get what you're saying. I am cognizant though of the balancing act that they got to do, and and it's just a shame we're losing out. You're basically telling us that our $60 or our $10 is less because you get more of it somewhere else. That's basically what these developers are saying. So your
approach is definitely better. I think a statement saying that we believe that we could the devs can do better, and that's a better person that's cutting them off. You're right. I was wrong in that.
I'm just throwing it out there, just being cognizant of all that. All right, so we had a great discussion about all this. We only got a couple minutes left. We won't do game vibes today, so let me take that off the screen. Let me just ask you about these GFN demos real quick. Let's go here. So GFN has demos. Let me move this because we got like a couple minutes left. I want to get your thoughts, Daryl Smock. Definitely. GFN released some demos, and there's a lot of comparison to Stadia demos, but Stadia's free trials, rather, there's being comparisons to Stadia's free trials. Stadia's free trials don't require a sign up. For all intents and purposes, and if I'm wrong, y'all let me know. I mean, hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Right. I tried looking at doing these trials. You got to make an account for GFN's trials, right? So my question is, because there's always and then we saw the marketing team once again go to the plug and play cloud gaming space and say, oh, hey, look, why are you focusing on all these cloud games? You should do this and do. Like, is GFN wasting their time putting so much effort on plug and play, the plug and play cloud gaming area? Shouldn't they be focusing on disenfranchised PC gamers who can't upgrade their hardware? What do you think?
Yeah, they should, but they're what GFN. I'm not trying to. I guess I'm gonna play devil's advocate a little bit, not too much, because I still don't think GFN is better than Stadia. But it's but they're doing it to create competition between Stadia, because right now GFN knows Stadia's in a better position, and people do, as different as these may be, I guess we might just have to accept the fact that people like comparing GFN to Stadia, because right now, as a cloud platform, even though GFN is more PC oriented, Stadia can get PC ports if the dev chooses to do it, because the vision is technically it's a PC port. Yeah, because we're crossplay with PC, but yeah, I think GFN would benefit more from targeting PC players that cannot afford to upgrade to get that PC that they want. They would benefit more from it, but I think GFN is more focused on trying to show the fact that they, in their heads, they're better than Stadia. So they're trying to create competition with Stadia to let them know, like, hey, look, we're doing this to Stadia, and Stadia's not saying anything back, or we're doing this now, and this is something, this is better, even though technically it isn't. Not, there are some people that don't mind signing up to play a free trial and then never come back after that. There are some people, but you can't be click and play. You can't beat that. You just can't.
I just think it's silly. I think GFN, what they need to do is they need to look at it this way. I mean, I get it. We use cloud technology along with GFN using cloud technology, but when you look at how to best utilize your marketing resources, you don't see PC really competing with console. They just tell you, hey, look, we're PC, we offer this for gaming, this, that. They understand that they're advertising to a totally different market. I just feel like I get where, because y'all are using cloud technology, that you want to compete, but to me, that's like Google Sheets competing with, hold on one second. It's like Google Sheets competing with GFN. I mean, just because y'all are using cloud technology, you guys don't have the same audience. And I think GFN is just wasting too much time focusing on plugging the content creators over. I get Amazon makes perfect sense in many ways. It makes a lot of sense for Amazon to do it because they're trying to hit that plug and play market. But GFN, I really think, I mean, they priced themselves out of the plug and play market, where if you want a fathomable experience, you got to pay $20 a month at least. You know what I'm saying? For the average gamer, you've had analysts mock to tell you that most of GFN's player base are using the free tier, which means that they've underutilized marketing to PC gamers. Most of their player base are PC gamers who only want to play when they're away from home. So that proves that you got, and there's 15 million of them. That totally dwarfs what Stadia's had. So that just proves right there that you're underutilizing your marketing, where you should be hitting it home with them people. But they keep coming over here. To me, it's just silly. I'm glad I'm not managing over there, because there would be a lot of people. There would be a lot of people getting government cheese and an unemployment line. I don't know who's in charge of the marketing over there, But my God, it makes no sense to me. But I'll let you close out with final thoughts, and then we'll close out.
Yeah, you're right. Like I said, it does benefit them more to stay in their lane, but you know they don't want to do that. You know, they want to create competition with Stadia. They're just lucky Stadia's not doing nothing about it. You know, they're lucky Stadia. They are, like, for real. Like, Stadia is just, as far as the plug and play community, as far as cloud gaming community, Stadia makes way more sense. You know,
exactly.
Yeah. And yeah, so I was reading the comment in the chat, but just GFN, ultimately they need to focus on PC community. You know, there are a conduit in the cloud for PC gamers. You know, it's just, I don't know, it just makes way more sense for them to focus on tackling that market that's not being tested, because honestly, that market isn't being touched, and they need to focus on their business, like you said, their business model first. You know, they should just come out with a whole new subscription tier, like just scrap the whole new thing and then just start completely over, you know, and go about it that way.
I think if they want this market, if they really wanted this market, they'd have to change the UI. They would have to uproot how PCs work. You know what I'm saying? Because the pro to GFN is something that isn't really catchy to the plug and play market. You know what I'm saying? So to me, what you do is you just go to the non-plug and play market and you say, look, have you been disenfranchised? Just like how Stadia went to the plug and play market and say, hey, look, have you been disenfranchised? Or are you tired of mid-gen updates? You get Stadia and you got Stadia version 1 through 1,000. GFN needs to do the same thing. Hey, look, you tired of having to buy a new graphics card every 3 days? Guess what? Now you get, that should be the not saying they're not doing it at all, but they're not doing it enough. And throwing all these codes and doing all this focus with plug and play influencers. That's what I'm trying to focus it on. Plug and play influencers is a waste of time. It's being shown. You've been doing this for a year and a half and you're not gaining any ground. Yeah. You're not.
Yeah.
You know, the only time you gain any ground is if and it's temporary, is if a bad article comes out on Stadia. And you only gain a ground with a couple of influencers. But you're not gaining ground with the community. There is really no GFN community. When GFN puts out an article, I know I said I was going to give you the last word, but when GFN puts out an article or talk about, hey, we got this new implementation, what do you see in the thread? A bunch of complaints. Where our community oh, this is great, fantastic, yoo-hoo, my uncle is going to come over and play Outcasters with me. Well, you don't have that over there. Stop wasting your time. Utilize it. It just kills me as someone that's in the industry to see this marketing go to waste. Give it to me. I'll find some. I'll advertise GFN better. Jesus.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yep. Yeah, but yeah, you know, GFN, they still got a lot of work to do. I guess they just need a better marketing team.
Yep, absolutely.
You know?
All right. Yeah. Well, with that said, it's time to get out of here. We've bloviated a lot about GFN. I mean, again, I think it's a hell of a platform for its target demo. It's utilizing cloud technology rather, in very fantastic ways. It just needs to be marketed better. But with that said, hey, Daryl Smock, before we get out of here, let the good people know where they can find you, good brother.
I'm Smock Junior Gaming. You see me in the chat. I rebranded my YouTube channel to be more focused on gaming. So I'm going to be there. I'm going to be playing Destiny 2, Assassin's Creed. I'm going to be playing Destiny 2 a little later on today, depending on how busy I get. But yeah, man, follow me on right here, Smock Junior Gaming. I'm going to be live, you know. Just come chat, come hang out. And if you like hearing me talk, man, come say hi. And, you know, catch the vibes over here on this side.
Cool. All right. And you guys know who I am, MM2K. Stadia Dosage PNTS Network. All right. Until next time, my friends.
Yes.
Have a wonderful gaming day. Peace.
Peace.